What's up, everybody? I want to talk about the guitar solo to Green Day's Holiday. I was just working on this with a student. And there's something that I really love about that, especially when we're talking about music theory. The course that is coming out or is out, depending on when you're watching this video, there will be a link below either to sign up for the mailing list or to check out more about that course. But we're talking about music theory. Right? And how music theory is the language and the guitar is just the voice that we're using to get that language out. What I love about music theory, especially in a case like Green Day's Holiday, is you don't need to dismiss music theory unless you want to be like some crazy guitar shredder, some crazy prog rock, whether or like wild jazz guitar solos. It works for very simple basic stuff. What it really does is it takes the guessing away. Instead of saying like, all right, this is the key, these are the notes, I don't know, mess around a little bit and see what happens. We can really come up with something cool like that. That's what I love about this. My guess is they came up with this solo because it's supposed to be crazy difficult. It's nice and simple. They probably came up with this solo within a minute, and said, yes, that's exactly what we wanted to do. Now, they could have come up with this solo. It could have taken them way longer, not knowing music theory, not sort of understanding what they were playing over each one of those chords. And that's fine. But when you understand the language, so to speak, what you want to say can come out like that rather than having to fish for it. So let's just take a listen. Cool. All right, so what's happening is just a little bit of composition over each one of those chords. So let's look at it. Even if you don't know the theory, see if you can follow along just a little bit. We have nice three-note phrases, right? Those three notes. That's just coming right out of the first chord of the guitar solo. Now it's power chords, but it still is it's still based in the F minor key. So what we have here is our D flat major, and all we're doing is we're taking this note, right, on the second string, that 6th fret of the second string, and we're going up to the next note in the chord, the 4th fret on the bottom string, but we're walking up there. So the note that's in between is connecting the two notes of the chord. Right? So it's basically like, theory-wise, 3, 3, 3, sharp 4, and then a 5. Right? That's the notes according to our D flat. Then when it switches to A flat, right, a nice three-note phrase again, which is the 5, 4, and 3 in A flat. So we're basically just going from the 5 of the A flat chord to the 3 of the A flat chord. We're going from this 4 on the second string, right, to this 5 on the third string and adding the note that's in between. So, and then what I love about it is we haven't hit the root note of any one of those chords, and I'll get back into that very quickly. The next chord now switches from an F natural minor to an F harmonic minor. So when it goes to the C now, it's going to be technically a C major or a C dominant, depending on how you want to play it, if you want to add the 7. But the power chord sort of implies our C major, and it just outlines the chord. Right, when it does that line, 8, 5 on the second string, and then 5 on the third, it's just doing this. Our C major, it's just doing the bottom, second string, and third string of that C major chord, right? What I love about that too, really quickly, is it switches from F natural minor to F harmonic minor, because if you notice, E flat, but when we go to that C, E natural, and that brings us right into the last phrase, which is over our F chord, F minor, even though it's a power chord, is just our F power chord up here. That's all it is. Right? Nice and easy. Then it does it again. Same first 2 chords of that solo. And then the last part, it goes right to the C and stays on it this time. And just does that walk up. Right? That's straight out of my C chord. Right? Just plays it on the second string. This is actually my C note, right? So that's in my C chord. And then the 17, that's the E, that's the one that changes to harmonic minor and then resolves very nicely to an F for the F, and then it goes into the next part of the song. So some nice thought. Like I said, it takes the guessing, learning the theory sort of takes the guessing out of the guitar solo, and coming up with those simple ideas just becomes that much easier. If you were going to push yourself and try to write harmonized guitar solos, like Avenged Sevenfold, yes, that's going to take way more time. But this stuff is so melodic, it's so nice, it's so easy, and it makes the solo that much more impactful rather than just sort of guessing and saying like, all right, play some of these notes and do something that's in the right key. This is way more impactful because you're outlining those chords the way that you want to outline them. You're not giving the root note of the chord away each time, we're sort of staying away from the root note, staying away from the root note. We touch on the root note here when we get to that for the C, because the C is this dominant. It builds us tension, and they know that when they're writing this solo, and then it releases when we go to the F. Okay, so all of this is pretty well thought of, but definitely able to sort of come up with and write within minutes, I'm sure. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope that made sense, and I love you guys. I will see you soon.